couple of questions. I came to this job with less knowledge of the intelligence community than anybody else at this table. What I've learned has not reassured me. It's frightened me a bit, frankly. But the reassuring figure in it all is you. Because everybody I talk to in this town, a town which seems to have a sport in basically not liking each other very much, everybody likes you, everybody respects you, everybody has great hopes that you are actually going to fix this problem. And I guess the decision which I got to make as a commissioner here is, can you fix it? Because the FBI is absolutely essential to this whole war we're talking about, and if you can't fix it, then we've got to make some recommendations and structural changes that may be able to fix it. And I'll tell you what still worries me. It's things that are on our staff report. For instance, according to a recent report by the Department of Justice Inspector General, the FBI's shortages of linguists have resulted in thousands of hours of audio tapes and pages of written material not being reviewed or translated into a timely manner. Another place. At every office we visited, we heard there were not enough surveillance personnel to cover the request to conduct live physical surveillance of identified terrorist suspects. Again, we heard from many analysts who complained they were able to do little actual analysis because they continued to be assigned menial tasks, including covering the phones at reception desks and emptying the office trash bins. Again, agent after agent told us that the primary way information gets shared is through personal relationships. There does not appear to be any recognition that this system fails in the absence of good personal relationships. And I guess just one more. We found there is no national strategy for sharing information to counter terrorism. Now, that's from our report that was read just prior to your appearance. And I guess my overall question is still, can you fix it?
Well, in response to the question, I think we can and are fixing what has been wrong with the FBI, and I can speak only for the FBI. I don't want to speak any broader than that because we've got to put our house in order, and I think we are putting our house in order. I will tell you that I think the staff did a very good job in their report, but indeed it was a snapshot in time. And it was a snapshot in time in 6 field offices some time ago. And I'll tell you the change cannot be done overnight. Transitions take time. If you look at those who have transformed organizations, governors who have, when they come in, things they wish to change, understand you hope to have a vision, you put in place the mechanism of executing that vision, but you cannot do it overnight. If you look at the IBMs or the GE, the Gerstner, or the Welshes, they will tell you there are a number of components to transforming an organization. If you look at those who study this, they will tell you that it takes time to transform an organization. There will be 30% that will be with you from the outset. There'll be 30% that are there to be persuaded, and there'll be 30% that really resist the change for a variety of reasons. I think we're on the right path. In those particulars that you mentioned, for instance, the linguists, the staff statement is accurate in part, but I will tell you when it comes to counterterrorism, interceptions, we prioritize that to assure that if there is any counterterrorism interception that needs linguist help, it is reviewed within a 24-hour period. And so, yes, we have across the board hours of interceptions that have not been translated, but the fact of the matter is when it comes to a terrorist organization, except in those instances where we have a very difficult time with particular dialects, it's reviewed within 24 hours. Certainly if we've got an investigation that's ongoing that relates to the possibility of a threat. Surveillance. We are stretched on our surveillance capabilities. We have made requests to Congress, and we are getting, in 2004, substantial additional support to do surveillance. Analysts, we have to do two things. One, we have had to build up our analytical capability, but we also have had to professionalize the analytical staff. and train it. In the days shortly after September 11th, we put together and set up a College of Analytical Studies. That has to be improved. We are not where we need to be, but we have that in place. Information sharing. There are two aspects of that that are important. One is the understanding of the necessity to disseminate that which we have. I listened to some of the testimony earlier today about when, I think it was Commissioner Lehman, with regard to an investigation, a criminal investigation that turns up intelligence information that would be useful to the intelligence community. In the past, that would not have been disseminated because of the grand jury rules that have been set aside by the Patriot Act. Today, it would be disseminated in an IIR to the intelligence community. That does not preclude it for being used in a prosecution, but does give that information, or does disseminate that information to the intelligence community. And so, in terms of information sharing, it is the desire to share and the capability of sharing. We are still working on the information technology in our communications, but we're on the road to solving those. And I see the red light's on for me.
The red light is, but if my colleagues will permit, I've got one question from the families, which I would ask with your permission.
That's okay.
Director Mueller, could you please give a brief description of the Pacific Threat Assessment that led to Attorney General Ashcroft to lease a private plane?
That occurred before I began my tenure. What I know about it is after the fact. I do believe that there was a security assessment that was done. It may well not have been a specific threat, but a security assessment that led to the recommendation that for official travel he utilize a Bureau plane.
Yeah, I think from the family's point of view, we'd like to follow that up.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you very much.